Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a Screenwriter's Rant on Solitary, a sci-fi drama movie set place in the not too distant future where the Earth is dying and they shoot prisoners into space. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Please check out my books, links in the description. Yeah, so this is an interesting sci-fi premise. I like the intensity of it. All my books are available at Amazon.com. Kindle Unlimited is free, and you can still support your channel with Kindle Unlimited. So the prisoners are shot into space because they're desperate to colonize. So rather than imprison people, they just shoot them into space. So it's kind of interesting. They're all convicts, so they split them up, male and female. I guess hoping that they will have sex and have a kid. So they're all criminals. And then, so you get flashbacks to what they did to get there, but they're basically stuck together in the ship. I don't understand what they expect to happen. And then there's some drama within the ship, and I'm not really sure what happens in this movie. It's called Solitary, written and directed by Luke Armstrong. So it looks a combination of, at first when I saw Solitary, usually that's an indication it's a low budget movie because it's all going to take place in like a ship, which would basically be a soundstage, but there's a lot of scenes of action on the outside and flashback. So I guess the first act, probably he wakes up in the ship, realizes where he is, and then in flashback they show you what they did criminally, and then they begin to discover stuff about themselves in the second act, which I think the girl is opposed to the program of shooting prisoners into space and somehow is trying to subvert it. And then she gets into a fight with the man. Maybe she goes after him. Maybe it's like she's lying about her past and she actually wants to get revenge for him murdering somebody. Something like that. Although I get the impression he's the hero, so maybe anybody he killed was an accident. But it's kind of hard to tell. But I liked the premise of the idea that the Earth is so effed, you got to shoot people into space in hopes that they'll just colonize a planet. Because you might as well give them a shot rather than eat up resources on Earth, right? It makes sense in its own way, I guess, unless they colonize a planet and take it completely over, and then what? But I guess if the Earth is that desperate, maybe? I kind of don't see governments doing that, but it's kind of a neat premise. So I'm a little more interested in the premise of this movie than the actual story. The actual story isn't drawing me in. It's the bigger overall sci-fi premise. So, can it work? I'm not sure the deal between these two. They seem to get in a confrontation. They seem to have sex, maybe. Not sure what's going on here. Not sure. But I guess I would see it. I wouldn't pay to see it, right? I wouldn't go to a theater to see it. I might see it on streaming if it was streaming somewhere and I already had the streaming service. Maybe if it was a couple of bucks, I'd pay for it. It seems well produced. I don't recognize any of the actors in it. Let me go to the credits again. See the names here. Starring Johnny Sachon and Lottie Tolhurst with Michael Condren, who I guess is the only name, but I don't recognize that name. So I guess it is kind of a low-budget thing. Written and directed by Luke Armstrong. Good for you, doing all the heavy lifting. It presents a Luke Armstrong film. I like the premise, Luke. I like the premise. Can you pull it off? I don't know. There's a lot of drama here. Maybe. I think so. I want to like it. Is what I'm saying. So I probably would see this movie. I think if you like sci-fi, it could be good. It could be awful. I don't think it could be so awful you're sorry you saw it, because it does have an interesting premise, so at least you get that much out of it. The execution seems to be okay. So even if the execution doesn't really go very far, I think it'll at least be watchable. at minimum. I think best case scenario, it's probably a really good film. So, yeah, Solitary, probably coming this fall or winter. And that's it for me and Little Joan. Little Joan! We will see you tomorrow. Make sure you check out our videos on Bitchute and Rumble. It will include a news blast, and I'm not sure, I haven't shot the other video yet. But I vowed today it will be positive. It will be a positive, maybe Tony and Jones good news. You want to do one of those? Yeah, we'll do that. Something like that. We'll see you tomorrow.